Alright, Teddy ho. Alright, so we're gonna be doing a tier list thing with Dylan.
Eat my ass.
Alright, you ready? Ready to go
I'm
right into
ready.
this?
All right.
Alright, Cold
1911.
War 1911, F tier.
Why?
Because it doesn't have enough ammo. It doesn't kill quick enough. I can't kill people that have a DMR. Like, come on.
Okay, what about Modern Warfare 1911?
F tier.
Okay.
I think you could understand why, same reasons.
All right.
357. It depends if you have snake shot. But that's still really ineffective. So C tier.
C tier. All right, deal.
Alright, Deagle. Say problems with 1911 stuff, slow fire rate, not enough ammo and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
725, two shots in one chamber. Viable in solos, but if you have slug rounds, I believe it's a one-shot headshot. So
Well, I'd say like even in solos, it's gonna be hard to kill them because like you're gonna do two shots, they're gonna turn around and try to kill you, so you gotta swap to a different weapon right after. So I think that's like C.
True.
Or B.
C tier, yeah. AK-70 for you. Has a competitive time to kill, not as good as the MAC-10 and MP5 and stuff. Very competitive. Ammo size really good. I think you go up to 50 rounds or 40. I don't remember. Yeah, 50 rounds, I believe. Has really fast mobility. I like that part. I would say B tier. Viable and stuff. Cold War AK-70 for you has too much recoil. It has way more recoil than the Modern Warfare one.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare one's really easy to control. It has competitive time to kill. Definitely better than X-4 Dylan. Yeah, I would go B tier with this one.
All right. A max.
I think we know where the Amax goes.
I think so too. Explain.
Alright, so it doesn't have as lot of recoil, but it's really easy to manage if you're on a controller, and you get instantly lock on aimbot, so you don't have to control anything. It has one of the fastest, has the fastest TDK in the AR gang, except for the ASVAL and FFAR.
Alright, so
yeah,
where do you
S
think
tier.
this goes? Okay. ASVAL. Not ASVAL, goddamn. AN94.
Yeah, and 94. So, if you hit your hyper burst shot, really good TDK. I like that part. Goes up to 60 rounds, but if you tap fire to get the hyper burst all the time, uncontrollable recoil. I would go B tier with this one.
ASVAL.
Alright. Viable. Well, it's actually really good in solos. Viable in duos, but not viable in trios and squads. Has the fastest TDK in the game. Downsides are, has 30 rounds, but you have to run sleight of hand just to do something. But also another plus, it has a built-in suppressor, so you could use that for sleight of hand.
Honestly, I would put an A.
Esther, get out of here.
Nah, I'd say A. Alright, AUG. And Cold War.
Alright, Cold War AUG. I think it has like a 700 millisecond time to kill, but I think you could boost that up with the fire rate barrel. Has low recoil if you have the right attachments on.
Yeah.
Really good because if you shoot at somebody, by the time that your first bullets are hitting, you already fired your second burst, and those bullets are going toward that die, so they barely have any time to react. So I would say S tier.
Yeah, it's pretty broken right now. Now, Modern Warfare AUG.
I think the max ammo you can have for the SMG rounds is 32. It has an okay time to kill, to say about that. But if you put on the 5.56 rounds, you could convert it into an AR and use that as an SMG. I think people are running that at one point as a meta.
Yeah.
But you run so slow and your ADS is so slow. So what's the point of running that as an SMG?
Yeah. I would say C.
Yeah, C tier. AX50. I used to run this when the MP7 was meta because it didn't have any drop-off range. It has a lot more bullet drop than the HDR, but it's also really competitive.
Fun fact, I lost my virginity to the AX50's barrel.
Bruh.
I would say
nothing. It has a faster chamber time than the HDR, I believe. So I would say A tier.
That is the Bison.
So is TDK, fast handles, over here like AI. It has 64 rounds automatically, and you can boost it up to 84, I believe. The downsides are it has a lot of side-to-side bounce, and you can't put on a Commando foregrip for that.
Yeah.
So I would put that in a C tier. Bruin. It has 100 rounds automatically, and you can bump that up to 200, but you can also convert it into an AR. The downsides are it has a lot of side-to-side bounce, and even if you put on a Commando foregrip, it still has a lot. there's basically not like non-existent recoil anymore. It's not how it once was.
Yeah.
So I'll put that in B tier. Bullfrog. I actually like the Bullfrog. It has a really good TDK on it. Literally, all I've been saying is TDK. It has fast handles. You can run really fast with it too. 64 rounds by default, and I think you can 62 or something like that, and you can bump that up to 84.
Isn't the thing that's good for it that it has a good headshot multiplier?
Yeah, it has a really good headshot multiplier too. Plus the rounds and stuff and fast handles, I'll put that in the A tier. MK2. It doesn't have a one-shot headshot potential. If you want to knock someone, you're probably going to hit them with 2 headshots or 4 body shots, I believe. So I'm just going to put that in C tier. Sigma. F tier. It could lock on, but it has a really, really, really slow reload speed. I love the crossbow, but I can't be biased right now. It has a really good bullet velocity when you put on the arm and stuff, attachments on it.
Yep.
But once you put on the thermite rounds or explosive bolts, that drops immediately, so it's not viable past 50 meters. So I'll put that C tier.
Diamatti.
True story. After they got nerfed like 2 times, this dude was like 5 or 7 feet away from me, and I had dual Diamattis, and I did not hit a single shot, and I went through both mags. But if it's a single Diamatti, it's okay. So I'll put that in B tier. DMR. It's not how it once was. The things the DMR is good at, say if you're running you're running away from the storm, and someone's on like a head glitch or something, you can just pop them with a headshot, and they'll immediately have to go down and heal up because how much the headshot multiplier is. But anything past that, it's not really good. So I'm gonna put it in C tier.
Dragunov.
F tier automatically.
This is why we need the garbage tier.
It's just terrible all around.
Dual Kadachis.
Wakizachi. Is that Wakizachi's?
No, that's a dual Kadachi.
You run really slow with it, but you have a farther lunge, and I think it is slower than the combat knife. So F tier. The EBR.
EBR, yeah.
It was like the DMR when Warzone first came out, but people didn't catch on to it. But now I think it's like a 3-shot headshot now.
Yeah, that's
low fire rate, a lot of recoil. It uses sniper ammo, which is not good. So I'll put it in C tier.
FAL.
FAL, fully automatic laser. It was meta because they buffed it and made it like a 2-shot headshot back during the Bruin meta. So people were just rocking Bruin and FAL. But since they patched that, I've used it. It's still good. But downside is it's semi-automatic. So if you don't have a fully automatic laser trigger finger like I do, not viable. So I'll put that in a B tier, to be totally honest.
FFAR.
FFAR. Really good. Okay handles. Fast fire rate. Fast TDK. Second fastest TDK in the game. 50 rounds. Better than the AS Val. Downsides, you can't shoot it too far. It has a lot of recoil. But unless you're absolutely cracked and snorted some G Fuel before you got on, it's good at long range. So I'll put it S tier. Then really, really underrated gun. People sleep on this gun a lot. It's really good. Has barely any recoil.
Has 0.
Competitive time to kill. But once you put on the adverse barrels on, it boosts the TDK, but it also adds a lot of recoil to it. So if you don't put on an adverse barrel, really good. So I'll put it in A tier. Fist, okay. 5 to 7 hits to kill somebody. Not the greatest. But you have to be really close. You run the fastest in the game if you have your fist out. So I'll put it F tier.
You name a good thing. Alright, I'll put it F tier.
FR556.
Yeah.
The FAMAS. It's okay. It has a lot of recoil, so it's not really viable past 50, 70 meters. Good thing about it, it was meta only because of the underbarrel shotgun. If you're unfortunate to play during that time.
Yeah.
Anything else, I'll put it F tier.
Yeah, it actually is really bad.
The Galwo. Alright, so has a good fire rate and stuff. I never really use this too much because I'm not a shotgun user. You could put it up to 12 shots. It kills really fast, just like the VOK does. So I'll put it A tier. The Gra. Alright, not how it once was. Not Gra Zone anymore. still really good. It's viable, but I prefer
Yeah.
the AMAX Andre. I would put it in A tier. Really clean iron sights, 60 rounds,
Yeah, I
barely
think
any recoil.
that's a good thing about it. the answers.
Graza, really underrated. People sleep on it. I like it because it has really good clean iron sights, probably better than the Gra iron sights with
Really?
the Archangel barrel on it. What does it go up to? Like 50, 60 rounds. You could get it up to, you could barely get any recoil, but there's still some recoil. But you have to, not really that hard to control. So I would put it A tier. Really underrated. The Howler. I don't think you could one-shot people in the body if they have full plates, but 100% to the head. But your chances of getting close to them and headshotting them with a really slow fire rate like the Howler, not that viable. So I'll put it C tier. HDR, fastest bullet velocity in the game. Really, really good at long ranges. You could just instant delete people. I think it has like 1,000 meters per second, I believe. Yeah, the scope is awesome.
Reticle.
I don't really like the original sight you get for it with the triangle and stuff.
I like
blue
that
dot
one.
and stuff. I just put on blue dot. So really good. Has the fastest bullet velocity. Barely any drop. The ADS definitely faster than the Tundra. I can tell you that right now. I'll put it S tier. The G36C. Nothing I can really say about this. It has a moderate fire rate. Okay time to kill. And you could bust it down to 30 rounds, but
You could bust it down to 30 rounds.
you could bring it down to 30 rounds, but it's automatic 100 rounds, so I just stick with it 100. Nothing I could really say about this gun. It's okay, so I'll put it C tier. ISO gang. A little bit underrated, not as good as the Bullfrog and stuff. You could move really, really fast with it. Barely any recoil. It's just mainly all visual recoil. You could bust it up to 40 rounds. Has a okay time to kill. I would put it in B tier.
I wouldn't say it's as good as the AK-74U. I would put it C, to be honest.
C tier? Alright. Jack 12. The close range LMG. Really, really slow if you're using it to run with. You're as fat as a mammoth with that thing. You could probably run faster with the N91 than with that thing. You can put on Dragon's Breath, but I think that's only 12 shots, and you blow through that 12 shots really quickly, and you have to be really close with that thing, being as heavy as an LMG. Not really that good, but if you're in someone's face, just bust off a couple shots. Boom, you got it. So I'll put it in C tier. The Javelin from, I don't remember which Call of Duty, which Modern Warfare. F tier. I didn't think you could say anything about that. Its lock-on takes a long time to get over to them.
Yeah.
Cali sticks, S tier. You run
Cheesy.
super fast, really
Cheesy as
cheesy.
fuck.
Put a riot shield on your back, stun them, run them,
Big ass lunge.
tap them. Has really, really far lunge. Yeah, that's all I can say about
Overpowered.
it. Car 98, S tier. Fast ADS, if you put on a barrel, it's basically as good as HDR, but not as good. If you put on the Bork Comb stock, I believe, has barely any idle sway, which makes it really good too. You don't really need a suppressor because you could just pop off shots really easily. Yeah, S tier. Yeah, that's all I have to say for the Car 98K. What's up
Kilo?
next? The Kilo. Not as good as it once was. Not when it was meta and stuff. They nerfed it. You could definitely tell they nerfed it past like 100 meters and stuff. It has a little recoil, not as much. So it's a beginner-friendly gun, I would say. Same thing as the Gra.
For like
So
Andre
I'll
and
put
stuff.
it A tier. Yeah, for Andre, I'll put it A tier. Combat knife.
Have you ever used
Modern
the
Warfare.
Cold War knife?
No, but I heard it's terrible because it's slower than the combat knife and it doesn't swing as fast as the combat knife.
Really? So F.
Yeah, F tier.
Not
Combat
the
knife.
Modern Warfare.
B tier. You compare it with a riot shield and stuff. It definitely swings faster than the Cold War one. What is it, like a 3-4 hit? Actually pretty good,
Yeah.
especially when your enemies can't do anything because stuns are overpowered right now. Yeah, that's all I have to say for it. You can run super fast with it too.
Craig 6.
Craig 40. I think it has the slowest time to kill in Warzone right now. There's a little bit of recoil that you could kit it out, make it have to barely have any. So I will put it in the C tier. KS, definitely people think it's trash. It's not. It's actually kind of good. Since I think it already has 45 rounds by default, and you can run pretty fast. Don't need any attachments except for a suppressor. I will put it B tier. M13 with the longest barrel and stuff, barely any recoil. It has an okay time to kill. 60 rounds. You can just laser people. It's really good. I'll put it B tier. M16. It does a little bit more damage than the AUG. It has more recoil, slower fire rate, so it's not good in that department. Yeah, the only thing that M16 has going for it is a little bit more damage, but it has slower fire rate and recoil, and more recoil. So I'll put it in A tier.
X16.
That's the M19. What are you talking
M19.
Really, really good at Kimbo, especially if you have a 5 milliwatt laser. You run super fast with that jaunt. Really fast fire rate, so you could kill someone fast with it. It's a little bit better than the M19, M1911 and Deagle, so I'll put it C tier. It's really good to have on your Ghost class. I'm gonna say that.
For the MP5 ammo.
Because you already get ammo for it, so it's really gonna be good close range option. M4. I actually like the M4, but it has a little bit of recoil, but if you put on the granulated grip tape and get rid of the optic, it has non-existent recoil. So 60 round mags, really good TDK, was meta at one point with the RPG, because you could rocket close range and far range.
I remember that.
So you could put it A tier.
I think
M60.
that's M60, yep.
Slow, but it hits really, really hard. I think you kill somebody in like 3 to 4 shots, I believe.
Yeah, and just like all the other Cold War guns, it has 0 recoil.
Yeah. But this thing, you could just spray and pray with it, and it has a lot of penetration, so you could just blow through any wall.
Penetrate me, daddy. Sorry, what?
Okay, I'm just gonna pretend that never happened. M60, I'll put it B tier. The Thumper. You can run really fast. You can shoot relatively fast. If you direct impact somebody with it, it's an instant knock, I believe, even with EOD. Yeah, fast reload, anything that. So I'll put it B tier. The M80, aka the Barrett, really, really underrated too. If you get it right, barely any recoil, you could pop 3 to 4 shots off really quickly, down anybody. One shot, headshot potential. The bullet velocity, not the greatest. ADS time, not the greatest either, but the fact that you could put off 3 to 4 shots without any recoil, barely any recoil, really good. So I'll put it in the B tier.
M91.
The M91, not as great as the PKM. Has a lot of ammo though. Not too much I could say about it. Really good.
I think it's
really
just
good. You could put
really average. I think it's C.
Yeah, it's just average. Just your average Joe. C tier probably. The Mac Daddy. Andre's favorite weapon.
No, his favorite weapon is the shotgun.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You can shoot people far range with it. Say if you run out of ammo in your freaking AMAX, you can just pull out your Mac 10 and just spray them at the same range. Not the fastest time to kill. The Cold War MP5 has that beat and TT kill stuff, but people use it because of the easicality of it, and you can shoot people at the same range as an AR. So I'll put it A tier. The Magnums. Actually, it's okay. You get a Kimbo on. Slow fire rate though, only 9 to 12 rounds, I believe.
Cold War, they're
I'll put
pretty
that
good.
B tier. MG34. Okay, it's basically an LMG SMG. Really fast TDK. Has really, really fast TDK. Underrated. You can use it as an SMG.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Yeah,
it's way too slow for that.
You can use it as an SMG, but slow. It has a lot of recoil, so not viable at long range. So I'm gonna just put it in C tier.
Yeah, the sprint to fire, the ADS, the movement speed, it's all really bad.
The Moana. I think one of the worst guns in Warzone. But I actually kind of like it. I was out beating people with Mac 10s and stuff in Ground War and stuff, or whatever they call it.
Dang.
Fire Team Dirty Bomb, right? I believe that's what they call it in Cold War. Yeah. It's okay. F tier.
You did. Nah, it's C tier. If you think it's okay.
It's okay, but it's The Model 680, I think it has the same thing that Howard has it going on with.
Yeah.
The slow pump, and you could put on Dragon's Breath, but with a slow pump, not really good. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. Okay. Cold War MP5 S tier, fastest time to kill in SMGs. Has the Mac 10 beat by a little bit. I think it was like just a little bit. It was like 50 milliseconds or something.
Yeah.
But still better. Use the meta. It has some side-to-side bounce, but you can just easily almost get rid of that with a foregrip with 50 rounds. Yeah, if it has 50 rounds, really good.
Uh huh.
Yeah, you're most likely gonna outbeat. You're gonna outbeat an FFAR and Mac 10 any day, unless you hit your shots.
Yeah.
MP5 was meta for the whole 12 months. Well, basically whole 12 months, because the birthday of Warzone's coming up in a couple of days. Was meta whole time through. I'm sick of seeing a weapon, even though I'm using the Cold War one. I will put it in A tier. MP7. Back in my day, people used AX50s and MP7s because the MP7 didn't have any damage drop-off range back when Warzone came out. Since there's now a drop-off range, not that good. You barely see anybody use the MP7 unless you're using the HDR. I would put it in the B tier. Odin. Really slow, but you could control recoil if you have the Colossus barrel on it, the Colossus suppressor, and the barrel that helps the most in recoil control. 20 rounds, not that great, so just put it in C tier. Origin 12 was meta at one point,
I
not
remember
as
that.
great anymore. It's okay, you could put 25 rounds in it. You really don't need to do anything, just get in their face and just spray and pray. I would put it in B tier. P90. I used that in one of my videos. Really good. 50 rounds by default. I don't think you could bust that up. You can't put on a Commando 4 grip to help with side-to-side bounce recoil, but you could put on 2 stipple grip dates, which I love. I would put that in B tier with it.
Pellington.
Pellington. It has an okay ADS, not as good as the SPR or Car 98, but the one thing that drives me off of Cold War snipers is because of the flinch. You get shot with the littlest, a fly will hit you and you'll be looking at the sky for like 5 seconds. Like,
Exactly.
they need to toe down the flinch. So I'll put it in B tier. Pila. Lock on, you can also pre-fire it, prematurely fire it. It's okay, so I'll put it in C tier. PKM, probably one of the best LMGs after the Bruin meta. I think at one point, yeah, it was meta at one point. I think they nerfed it too. It's really good. You can put on the Stitch Snap grip, I believe, and has barely any recoil. It has an average reload speed. With a sleight of hand, you can boost that up. I'll put it at B tier. QBZ, probably one of the worst.
Nah, I've heard good
ARs
things about
beside
this.
the Krig. I've heard really bad things about the QBZ, and I have really bad experiences with the QBZ. This is something I really can't say too much. It's like an LMG a little bit. I'll just put it in B tier. There's nothing too much to say about it. R9 shotgun. It's okay on its own, but with Dragon's Breath, it's even better. With, 12, 14 shots, you just pump off. You just shoot 2 shots, pump it, 2 shots again. Really good. I'll put it A tier if you have Dragon's Breath on it. Ram 7, really good. Downside 50 rounds. It has really manageable recoil control. It goes up and to the left. I think that AMAX has the same thing too. If you put on the 4x4 sight, it makes it look, it barely has any recoil, but it's really good. I like it. I would say S tier.
Honestly, I would put A. I don't think it's as good as the FFAR, or like better than the Mac 10.
Alright, I'll put down A tier, yeah. Renetti was meta at one point. It was just like the Diamati's with the burst barrel on it. But now it's terrible. It's okay, I like it singular and not burst. So I'll put it in B tier. The Riot Shield, S tier, get that thing up in S tier. I don't think you could say too much about it. Rock shots. Me and Dylan had a really good play. We were playing squads at one time and we just camped. And we got one of us got knocked in the open, and one of our teammates had a Riot Shield and just blocked the sniper so we could revive.
That was Pog.
He probably clutched up and won us that whole thing. RPD, underrated. It has some recoil, but you could control that easily. Nothing too much to say. I'll put it A tier. The RPGs, you could put both RPGs in B tier. I don't think you could say too much.
I don't even know the difference, to be honest.
The Rytek Aimer, you could put that in B. You could put that in C tier. Only good if you have the explosive rounds on it. Really, really slow ADS too. What is that up next? The SA87.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's actually underrated too.
Yeah.
We used that before. Really, really underrated.
Gotta win.
We got to win with that jump too. That was epic. It doesn't have too much recoil. Really easily. It uses 7x7.6, so it has some recoil. It hits a heavy punch, so I'll put that A tier. Not gonna lie. Scar 17, I believe it's called. B tier. It has some. It has recoil. Not a really good TDK. 20 or 30 rounds. I think is the max. So just put it in B tier.
I would say F. This thing sucks.
Oh yeah, put it in F.
20 rounds, 25 max. It's trash. SKS.
The SKS has the same problem with like the EBR. It has it uses sniper ammo. It doesn't have too much recoil really easily. I think it's like a 2 to 3 tap to the head. It's really good. Okay, so I'll put it in C tier. The sledge has a lot of range. It has the slowest slowing animation, I believe. So put it in C tier. The SPR, I will put that A tier because it has a little bit of slow ADS. I don't like the original scope sight it comes with. It's okay once you put on the lapilla rounds, but it's trash when you have the normal rounds and just regular rounds. So I'll put it in A tier. Stoner, really good. Actually, I like it. I like it a lot. I'll put it up there with the RPD in A tier. It basically does the same thing as it. Has a little bit of recoil, easy to manage and stuff. Yeah.
Alright, so this is Andre's favorite gun, the Street Sweeper.
Alright, the Cock Blocker 37. Alright, I'll put that in the S tier. You just plow through teams with it. Automatic, so you just pull the trigger. 18 rounds, you can put that as max. I think 12 is the default. The only thing that kills it is a slow reload time, but if you already swipe the whole team, who cares? Alright, the Sniper RPG. I'm gonna put that in A tier. It has really fast rocket velocity, but it has a little bit of drop, so that's just instant. It's hit scan.
I would say B though, because like if you don't hit your shot, they're not gonna die. Well, that's with any of them.
I'll keep it A tier if you want.
Yeah.
The Striker, it's okay, underrated a little bit, but people say it's not as bad as people say, but it's okay. I will put that in B tier, viable but not viable at the same time. You can use it as far range, close range a little bit. Yeah, all of that, all the good stuff. The LW9, I believe it was called in BO1. I haven't played that in a minute. It has a slow bullet velocity, wouldn't recommend it. Just the same thing like the Peloton, has a lot of flints. A fly hits you, you're automatically looking up to the sky. So just put it with the Peloton where we have that at. I think it was like C tier or something. And put it in B tier. That's where we have the Peloton.
Alright. Type 63?
It had the same, it was as broken as the DMR. It had more recoil, so you couldn't pop out shots as fast. It still has more recoil to this day, not viable at all. I'll just put it in F tier. The Lil Uzi Vert. I think you can max out at 40 rounds. It has a slow TDK, but if you put on that the AE rounds, I believe, you could use it as a long range SMG too.
Yeah.
If you get it right, it has barely any recoil. It's just mostly visual. So yeah, I'll put it B tier. The Fennec, aka the Vector, has if you get it right, barely any recoil. It has one of the fastest TDKs too. Downsides, slow reload, and not as much ammo. You're maxing out at 40 rounds and you blow through that in like 3 seconds with like an 8-second long reload. Not viable. It's okay, so I'll just put it in B tier to make Andre happy. VLK. Let me tell you about this thing. Really fast fire rate, plus Dragon's Breath, and you can run the fastest with this shotgun too. Yeah, it has fast reload, fast fire rate. You run really fast. It's just everything fast. So put that in S tier.
S? Are you?
Only S tier if you have the Dragon's Breath rounds. It's gonna be B tier if you don't have Dragon's Breath. Was that the Wakizashi?
It's a Wakizashi Wakitaki.
It has the same thing as the cool dual Kaidechis, or whatever they're called. They're a little bit better. Put it a tier above where we ever have the Wakizashis at. X16. I personally run this on my Ghost class, mostly because I don't have a Kempo on my M19. It's the starting pistol is trash. It's terrible. It's dog water. Put that in F tier. XM4. It's not as good as you said. Don't care. You might say it's S tier. It's not. It's B tier. Average. It's the middle of the pack, TDK and everything. Has a little bit less recoil. Has some recoil. Not too much. Basically it.
Alright, now for touch-ups. I'll put the MAC-10 in S, to be honest.
S tier? Alright, I got you.
I don't think a rocket launcher should be A tier.
Okay. Yeah, just put
like,
that down to
you
B
wouldn't
tier,
you wouldn't use this over an AK-74U, you know?
I know, but we're not saying that. I said it was a sniper RPG because of the hit scan ability.
And
yeah, I think we're pretty much good.
Yeah, I think.
No, we could bump up the DMR to B. I think.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I think that's A, to be honest with you.
No, but it's not as good as it once was. You can't like. It's good if you could one tap somebody off a head glitch or something, but I don't think any other uses.
All right, and yeah, that looks about accurate.
Oh, we forgot one thing. We got to put Fist at S tier.
Oh yeah. All right, so this is the final thing. So
Yeah, it's the final thing. Alright, it took Dylan 10,000 clicks to do this. It'll just take you 1 click to press like and no, 3 to click like and subscribe and put on post doties. So you
Save.
just do that for us.
And that is it right there.